And then you directionalize them to have a seat to fill out the pre-exercise questionnaire form. Now I'm going to share with you pre-exercise questionnaire form, and all the tools that I'm using in this I'm going to offer to each and every one of you as templates, which I will send you an email as well as a gift from me to you for showing up in today's webinar. Okay, now the pre-exercise questionnaire has 3 parts to it. And there's 3 main reasons to have a pre-exercise questionnaire, and that determines the 3 parts. The first and most important part is to build rapport. Now, when you meet with a person for the first time, you want to have your pre-exercise questionnaire or your pre-exercise questionnaire or Part2 or whatever it is that you name yours. You have your pre-exercise questionnaire, and what you want to do is you want to have yours filled out with the details about them that you already know. So imagine if you have their name, address, date of birth, phone number, email, you have all that stuff on there. What's it going to mean? It's going to add an extra touch. It's adding a wow factor. So it's adding that personability. So you're going to sit down. What you're going to do is you're going to open a hand, you're going to palm up, say, just get you to take a seat here and fill this form out for me. Get them to sit down with the form on their own with a pen. They look at the form, they can see their name and so forth on there. They get a bit of a smile. You'll see them smile. I'll just get you to fill this form out and I'll come straight back once you're done. Why would we suggest that you do this? Why would we suggest that you walk away and come back? I know a lot of people say, well, don't you want to sit there and support them? You want to be in control of this whole process. And if you sit there, how many times you sat there and go, they start talking about their dicky knee or their back problem, or they throw the whole process out of whack. The other reason is as well is you distract them. Now, if you're sitting there, they might not think about certain things, and they might not write down. They might not think about things that they need to write down, and they're like certain injuries and so forth as well. So walk away and then come back. I also like to add an element of suspense. Okay, that suspense. You're walking around and what's going on next. I like to build that. So when I come back, I want to make sure that I keep an eye on them so I can see them, so that way when they finish I can, personally I like to let them sit there for 20 or 30 seconds, and it builds that suspense. And then I come back and I sit down, and then we're going to walk through the pre-exercise questionnaire. Now with the pre-exercise questionnaire, okay, what I want to do is, before I go through pre-exercise questionnaire, what I actually want to do is, if I'm right-handed, I want to sit on their right-hand side. And I want to sit next to them. I don't want to be like a doctor. I don't want to sit across them. I want to sit open next to them on a slight angle, so that way we're eye to eye and we're on the same page, we're on the same level, we're on the same side. It's all metaphorical. Okay, so if I'm writing with my right hand, I'm writing open to them, and they can see what I'm writing, and they're not trying to look over your hand. And believe me, I've tested all these things that we're talking about so many times, hundreds of times, and I've definitely found that these work best. Not just for me, with almost 100 personal trainers I've had in my employment at one stage over the last more than a decade as well. Okay, so then what we do is we go through the first part of the pre-exercise questionnaire. So the first part is the personal details. The big mistake I think a lot of people make here is they start talking about, well, tell me about the results and all this kind of thing, but you miss an amazing opportunity to really connect with them and build rapport. They're going to be sitting there, with a wall up. And I believe what we need to do is we need to smash through that wall with a sledgehammer, metaphorically, of course. Okay, and the way we do that is we need to shift their physiology. We need to shift their state, because what state are they going to be in? They're not sure what they're going to go through. They're not sure what to expect. They're uncertain. They don't know who you are. So there's going to be a bit of a wall, a bit of a barrier. The way to get through that is, what do people like talking about or feel most comfortable talking about the most? Really simple, themselves. My 2 favorite questions on the top of the pre-exercise questionnaire, which I'll show you the template shortly. 1 is where they live, and 2, their work, what they do for a living. Because you can work out so much from those 2 questions, and so many people skip this. This is the most critical point, because if you want to take them on a journey through this process that you're in control of, all the way to them signing the paperwork and becoming a long-term client, then it's really important that you take them with you. So you need a test. So if you go on to the next step in the process and then you've left them behind, then you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that conversion. You're not going to be able to help that person. Okay, so we want to test for that. And the way we do that is really simple. First of all, never ever read off the pre-exercise questionnaire, because it doesn't add emotions. If we ask them an emotion-invoking question, okay, they're going to experience emotions there and then. A big part of this journey and this process is taking them on an emotional roller coaster. Because if they feel pain and pleasure, who are the people in your life that hurt you the most? Your loved ones, friends and family and so forth. Not intentionally, but it happens because you care about them. And who are the people in your life that make you the happiest? Surprise, surprise, same people, right? So the key to building rapport is taking them on an emotional roller coaster, because if they're having ups and downs and they're getting fear and sadness and then they're getting euphoria, and they're getting that roller coaster, they're going to attach that fact to you. They're going to attach that to you, and that's going to be a big part of the rapport building. So the personal questions. One, I see here that you live not too far away. So where exactly you live? Okay, so you're 5 minutes away. So it's going to be nice and easy for you to get here for our sessions when we train. Presuppositional language presupposes they're going to be training with us. Incredibly powerful. Okay, so then we want to ask open-ended questions, which we already know this. And so my favorite questions with this are, so how long have you been living there? So they might say 5 years. Okay, so that's good. They're kind of stable. So we can look, we can work out what kind of client they're going to be. And where were you living before that? Okay, so we're going to the past as well. I was living at XYZ, and how long were you there? 5 years. Okay, pattern. And then I want to project them into the future, because we're a part of their future. And I want them to be thinking about and talking about and envisaging the picture of their future with us in it as much as possible in the process. So the journey is past, present, future as well. So if you could live anywhere, where would you live? Oh, I'd live in Hawaii. Oh, if you could go anywhere, where would you go? Get them thinking about dreams and possibilities as well. That's what this is all about, isn't it? About creating a lifestyle for people. Okay? Then what we can also ask is, it depends on the connection you have already. You can ask them, are you buying? Do you have a mortgage there? Are you renting? And the most critical part of this, who do you live with? I live with my family. Oh, awesome. So you're married? Yes. Do you have kids? Yes. What are their names? How old are they? Do you have pets? What better way to build rapport, okay? And write all this stuff down on the pre-exercise questionnaire. Take notes so that next time you speak to them, you can feed all that back to them. How's Tommy? How's Sammy? Cool names. How's Tommy and Sammy? How are they doing? How's your husband? How's Mark? And that kind of stuff. So get involved with it, on that level. Okay? So from that, we can learn stability. We can learn who they're living with. If it's friends, if it's family, we know that they're going to have family values, and we can utilize that. The next question is their job. So I see here you're a plumber. Do you enjoy it? Yeah, it's okay. Now find out if it's full-time or part-time, so we can get an idea of what kind of financial position they're in. How long have you been there? Stability again. Where were you before that? Stability again. If you could do anything, what's your dream job or career? Oh, I would love to travel the world and speak to people all over the world and help millions. Again, you're taking them on that journey. Okay? And again, this can lead into, okay, so that's full-time. Do you work on the weekends? No. Do you go out and party or drink? Or what hobbies do you have? See how powerful these two questions are and how much rapport you can build from that. All the questions you need to know about them personally, financially, stability, family values, work. You've covered most of the aspects of their life in those two questions. First question, or the first part, is where they live. Second part is their job. Absolutely critical. Now, what you want to do here is you should be watching for their physiological shift. So they should go from arms crossed or leaning back, or they should go to a more open physiology. They should have more open expressions. And you can kind of tell. Have you ever noticed before when you've been speaking to someone and there's that very moment where they kind of open up to you and it's like your friends all of a sudden? That's what you want. Now, if you've gone through those two questions and you feel like that barrier is still there and we haven't smashed through that, really simple. We need to find the commonality. We all know this. Okay, ask them. I had this struggle with someone once, and I ended up asking questions. You like football? No. And I established he liked wrestling. He was a wrestling freak. And lucky for me, I was up to date with the wrestlers, and we talked about that, and I got him straight on that. That guy actually ended up asking me about PT prices, which is pretty cool. From that one commonality. So your commonality is your fallback. If those two don't work, you might not need that. Open up, smash through that wall with your sledgehammer, metaphorically. They open up, you're ready to go to the next step. So what is the next step? That should take about 10 minutes. Okay, again, it's the finer details. We're talking about the NLP here. The second part, the 10 to 20 minute mark, or the 10 to 25 minute mark, is their results. Now that we've created an initial rapport with them, we want to talk about the results. And the way we do this, we use the 4 W's and the H, the what, where, when, why, how. You can take notes if you choose right now. You are going to get this transcript, and you're also going to have the recording of this as well. Now what this does is, I notice a lot of people in the pre-exercise questionnaires have several pages and all that. You want to keep it really simple and basic for these guys. Build rapport, give them a great feel-good session, get them on board as a client, show your care, and move forward on the next step and focus on results. So what we want to do is we'll see on the pre-exercise questionnaire form, you'll see that's in alignment with this. We don't want to be asking them, so we don't want to be reading off the paper with this. This is the most important part. You don't want to be. So I'll say, so tell me about the results that you want to achieve. What results do you want to achieve? Okay, so they'll start, let's say we've got Mary. And Mary says, you know what, I want to lose weight. Okay, well, let's chunk this down. I want to be really specific. Okay, so how much weight would you like to lose? Okay, now we know it might not be focused on weight loss, whatever, but we've got to give them what they believe. We're still in the rapport building stage. We're not in the advice giving stage yet. Not in the first half an hour. You really don't want to give advice yet because you haven't built enough rapport. It's about likability, not credibility yet. Okay, so what results you want to achieve? I want to lose weight. Okay, well let's get an idea. The only thing that I might do in this process is I might do a weigh-in if I know that that's what they're focused on, that's what they want. Okay, so I make an idea of roughly how much they are now. Let's say that she's 90 kilos and she wants to lose 20 kilos. Okay, so we've chunked her right down. We've established that Mary wants to lose 20 kilos. Okay, all right, so Mary wants to lose 20 kilos. Now, Mary, if you're going to lose 20 kilos, you're probably going to lose clothing size as well. Do you mind if I ask you a personal question? Sure, yes, sir. You know, what sizing clothing are you right now? I'm actually an 18. Okay, so Mary, if you were to lose the 20 kilos, what clothing size do you think you'd be? I'd probably be a 10 or 12. Okay, awesome. So we want to go down to a 10 or 12. That one question lets us know that Mary wants to lose 20 kilos. We can put the starting and the finishing date on there if we choose to weigh her, or we can at least get a rough idea. A lot of people will ask you months down the track how much they start at anyway, so it can be a good idea. Okay, if they want to, of course. And we know that she wants to lose 3 clothing sizes. Okay, so that's just the what. Okay, there's none of this fluff, and it just makes it really simple and streamlines it. The next W is the where. Okay, so where exactly do you want to achieve these results, Mary? You know what? Actually, I want to achieve it in my butt, my thighs, Actually, you know what? I want to achieve it everywhere. How many people say that? Okay, Mary, we want to pinpoint this. So if you can get results in only one location, what would you see as your #1 priority? Probably my thighs. You know, people joke about my thunder thighs and all that. Okay, so your thighs is your #1 priority. Okay, so now we know that Mary wants to lose 20 kilos, 3 clothing size, and her #1 priority is her thighs. And would you say there's a secondary? Oh, definitely my bum. I want to lose my bum. Okay, that's good. That gives us some specific information. We can definitely help you with that. Okay, so that's the second W. And the third W is when. So Mary, when exactly would you like to achieve this by? Even if they've written this stuff down, ask them, because it gets them to do a trans-derivation research and they attach emotions to it. And you're getting them to think about the next 3-6 months process. You're looking at them, you're sitting there, and they're imagining this process happening in their own mind, and you're a part of that process, so it's already real for them, and they're doing it themselves. You know, it's just basically how the mind works, how hypnosis works, how trans-derivation research works, and how the mind works. Okay, so Mary, how come you'd like to lose it within 6 months? Well, actually, you know what? I'm getting married in 6 months. Oh, congratulations. You know, getting married in 6 months. Now we know that Mary wants to lose 20 kilos, 3 clothing size. Her #1 priority is her thighs. Second is her bum. She wants to do that in 6 months because she's getting married. 4 simple questions, incredibly powerful answers. Wouldn't you agree? Okay, now we get to the most critical and the most important part. Can I ask you a question, Mary? Now, we want them to become emotional. Now, I know a lot of people may think that this might be a little harsh, but what will determine whether someone pursues your services or not? What makes somebody buy? It's really simple. And Tony Robbins is a big fan of this. Only when the pain of a person's current lifestyle becomes greater than the journey they have to embark upon to achieve those results, only when that happens will they take action. Only when their current lifestyle is more painful than the journey with you and the relationship with you and parting with that money, only when you can communicate that with them effectively will they decide to pursue your services. So we want them to become consciously aware of why it's so important. A lot of people that have 20, 30 kilos to lose have they really suppress a lot of emotions, and it's not about the weight loss or what it means for them personally. I want to get to the crux of that. What makes them tick? Why is it so important? What does it really mean for them? So what we want to do is how would they feel if they didn't achieve it, and how would they feel if they did achieve it? So Mary, how would you feel if in 6 months' time, this is pretty harsh, but this is the best example. How would you feel, Mary, if in 6 months' time you're walking down the aisle and you look down and you burst into tears because you didn't do all the things that were necessary to lose that 20 kilos, you didn't take the action, you didn't have the discipline, and you didn't work with somebody with a plan that keeps you accountable to make that happen? How would that make you feel? Okay. Now, of course, they're going to say something like crap or pretty bad or whatever. We want them to engage and experience that emotion, because we want them to understand that if they don't engage our services, there's a pretty good percentage, good chance that they're not going to achieve those results, right? We know that. What are Mary's chances of losing 20 kilos in the next 6 months if she's already there without our help? Pretty slim, right? A couple of percent maybe? Maybe 10%, maybe. Okay. But Mary, so we want to make that really painful. No, it'd suck, right? It would be, that would be terrible. Get